What is going on, YouTube? It's the brain of the mainframe here, Nile Scala, with episode 101. Billy Tucci, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, brother. I don't know if I'm a little lost here. Hang on a second. What do I got?
Mute your YouTube, bro.
I don't think I'm on the YouTube page.
Oh, we're back to this.
We're back to this. I'm not. Let me see. I hear that. Hang on, homie. Here it is. Here it was on another page. Oh, sorry,
Billy. You're starting off the 100s badly.
Dude, I know. Whatever.
So how you doing, brother? How's everything? We had a fantastic 100th episode last night. I mean, it was just a lot of energy, a lot of stuff going on. Man, dude, what a great time.
A lot of laughs, a lot of guests. It was great how we had that, the two guests. We split our show up amongst, 6 guests. It was great. And now here we are, man. We're doing it again. We got 2 fantastic guests today. I don't know if you want to do the introductions or should we run the video first? How do you want to do this, Scott?
Yeah, man. So we're going to start off, so for our first everyone, we've got the man, the myth, the legend, the master, Brian Pulido. And to kick it off, we're going to launch and play his Kickstarter video, and then we're going to kick it with a great interview. So everyone, prepare yourselves.
First half hour, the king of Kickstarter.
The king of Kickstarter.
Yeah, boy.
Hey everybody, this is veteran comic book creator Brian Pulido, creator of Lady Death and proud publisher of Coffin Comics. And we are here to bring the evil in an all-new 48-page original graphic novel entitled Lady Death, Malevolent Decimation. For generations, the evil seething within Lady Death's soul lay dormant, forgotten until now. Something has awakened, a sinister passion that leads Lady Death to the darkest corners of the globe. Leaving piles of bloody bodies in her wake, she seeks a horrific power never before seen by mankind. But for what nefarious purpose? The roguish warlock Hellslinger hopes he'll never find out. Along with Mujai, the cursed demon hunter, and an avenging vigilante known as La Muerta, Hellslinger seeks to return Lady Death to her former anti-heroic self. But how can 3 stand against the most dangerous woman on Earth, a woman bent on ushering in a new age of death? In introducing Johnny Devlin, cursed to be a gateway to a dimension of demonic devils. Can he control the horrors within, or will they be unleashed forever? Helping me bring this new chapter of evil to life is co-writer Mike McLean, illustrator Diego Bernard, colorist CC De La Cruz, and veteran letterer Marshall Dillon. And here's the thing, this project is done. All we got to do is print, but there is no doubt that we need your help to bring evil Lady Death to life. Please pledge now, pledge often, tell your friends. You know I'm going to say it, tell your enemies. Thank you so much, everybody. It is you that make Coffin Comics live. Long live Lady Death.
Mr. Pulido!
What up, boys? How you doing?
Good, man. Welcome back. Welcome back.
It's good to be back.
Yes.
Great to have you, bro.
Our
Ladies
first
and gentlemen,
guest.
the king of Kickstarter, Mr. Brian Pulido.
What's up, universe?
Yes.
Sworn, baby. Lee Dittler.
Sworn.
Brian,
Yeah.
I got to tell you, you in the 5 years or 6 years since you started on this on this Coffin Comics, resurrection of Lady Death and a new way of publishing and reaching the fans, every single one of your videos, they've always been top notch. I mean, among the best ever. But each in your videos, you get more enthusiastic and more confident.
Thank you.
Every single time with each and every one, and it's contagious. It really is, because now I'm getting pumped. I'm like, oh my god! And I forgot Laura Moretta was in it. I know we had talked about. I'm like, oh my god, Laura Moretta's in it, because I haven't checked it out. I'll pledge. We'll pledge tomorrow. But it's so enthusiastic, and when it gets to the confidence, I think your confidence is what has propelled you guys in less than 24 hours to close to, I don't know where the updated numbers, but $230,000.
It's truly remarkable. Absolutely.
Almost $232,000 you're going to make tonight.
Is that like record for you? From
it is. We are definitely blowing previous records out of the water. I can't thank the fiends and the sworn enough. I guess they dig what's happening this time around. It's truly remarkable. We are over here. We're like, what?
Well, Nile, if you can go to Kick Track and Google, Malevolent, I can't say that.
Malevolent Decimation.
Malevolent Destination. If you go to Kick Track, it's going to track Lady Death. And Brian, I think you're on, you are on track to make something like $3.5 million.
Yeah, but you can't go by that though, because it's
don't go by that.
Yeah.
I remember first using KickTrack and seeing that. Yeah, they have all these initial trajectories that go to the moon. You're like, yeah, but hey man, let me comment on what you said, Billy. It's true. I actually didn't have a lot of on-camera experience prior, but it just seemed like it was a necessary part of what we all do in this day and age. And the first couple of times we were making these Kickstarter videos, I mean, the amount of time it took and the nerves and the this and the that. And one thing I kind of learned just over time is that I have to just throw caution to the wind, kind of let my love of all this stuff just come out and sort of take it from there. I just couldn't be in my head about it so much.
Oh, so you did. So that would get in your head. And is that all the confidence thing? That you had that fear?
Maybe perhaps there's confidence that comes from doing this a couple of times, but I think what you may be seeing also is just sort of like surrendering to just the love of doing it all and the appreciation and the joy it brings myself and other people. I don't even know if it's confidence, because in another way, there's a lot of questioning. Is this right? Is this going to work? I mean, I think that's all there all the time. I wasn't born like Gene Simmons, who's just supremely confident about everything, and I think that's phenomenal, but I kind of have this, I always have a war going on, and that's fine. I kind of accept that about it. But in terms of maybe you're just seeing more joy than anything, because you're really feeling that we're connecting globally with people.
And indeed you are. My gosh, man. I mean,
are.
in unbelievable ways. And Lee Ditworth had posted that. He says that he thinks you guys were funded before you even realized you were live.
Yeah, this is a funny one. So usually we have a couple computers going, and it just took more than all true yesterday. It's fun, man, with these launches. It's always different every time. So we have everything we think debugged. We're launched. It's fine, but we have this sort of computer that we use just to show everybody what's going on and see the numbers do what they're doing. And it didn't even kind of reconcile itself until we were like blasting past 40,000 in a really short period of time. So it was mind-boggling yesterday. And mind-boggling now, 24 hours later, with 1,428 backers, 49 backers who've never backed a Kickstarter before, which we always feel super proud that we're welcoming people into the fold. So 49 people who've never done it before. It's incredible.
Wow, that's unheard of.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of our main goals all the time is, if we could retain our returning backers, that we feel like we are doing our job and people are enthused. But if we could bring in new people, particularly in the beginning, I mean, it's, that's the goal, right? That's how we grow our business, how we get more people's eyeballs on our stuff. So, yeah, it's a stated goal every time for us.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's
unbelievable. I mean, you are
but
it shows.
He is such an inspiration. He is, Billy. I'm cutting you off on that.
Yeah,
he is. You know what's really cool? If you go back, right, and you watch majority of our past episodes, your name is mentioned.
Oh yeah,
it's typically mentioned. We talk about crowdfunding stuff, and even if they're like solely like, I just do the Indiegogo thing. They're like, but man, what Brian Pulido does, if I could do that, or I really follow what he does. I mean, you're paving the way for your fans, just enjoying crazy content and introducing new characters that are kick-ass.
Thank you. I'm having so much fun with that part too.
That's awesome. And you're inspiring everybody to achieve this level. And what's great is you're humble about it. It's like, hey, you want to just follow what I'm doing if you want to do it.
Comics are very humbling. I think Billy can speak to that too. And I think, we're all, I'm a little older now, 58 years old. And man, one thing I think that life has taught me is it's a roller coaster. It's got a lot of ups and downs. And one of the things that we all have in common is we have our good days and we have our really challenging real life stuff that happens. So I think, I might have been cocky in the 90s, Billy. We were probably both really cocky in the 90s. But I think, just time has taught me. It's like, keep your head low. And everybody at Coffin Comics knows this. Like, I always talk to what I call the comic gods. So there it's a pantheon of thousands of gods. And I will say that if you're cocky, they will strike you down. They are very capricious in nature. So I always kind of do a check, and I'm like, what are the comic gods thinking today? So that's a long-winded way of saying that, the humility comes from life teaching that lesson over and over and over again.
Yeah, but I also think that I don't know if we were so much cocky as opposed to just confident in our creations back then.
Oh, yeah.
Because you couldn't do what we did. You got to think about it. Right here are us two guys coming out of nowhere. With this love of this craft, for this love of our properties and respecting our properties, taking two badass female characters that no one was doing. Remember at that time, Wonder Woman didn't even have her own series.
Well, I would say too, I mean, you and I had parallel experiences. Mm-hmm. I had people left and right telling me this can't be done. We're not interested. There's not a market for it, like all that stuff. And there just comes a point where I just had to put blinders on because I actually saw the market. I saw the people who wanted it, but none of the contemporaries were seeing it. I mean, and respectfully, even when I got back in the game 5 years ago, I'm not going to name names, but I still put Lady Death out there potentially to be published by other publishers. And I'm not going to name names, but again, summarily, it was rejected. And again, I look to myself and say, okay, look, I think there's a market. I think people want this. So, again, blinders on, got to go, get out of the way, got to get there.
Yeah, well, Mark Silvestri, when he was on our show last week? Yeah.
Last week,
he's the one that said, he's like, what he said, he goes, Billy, what you and Brian did. I mean, that's why Witchblade came to be. Like, you guys proved that a powerful female superhero character, anti-villain, however you want to put it, or anti-hero, I'm sorry, you can make it happen. And that's what made them confident to do it.
That's great. That's really cool to hear.
He said there would be no Witchblade and there would be no Witchblade if there were no She or Lady Death.
That's incredible.
And even my buddy Keith Bosque passed away, who was my attorney, one of my best friends. He was the president of IDOS. And he said there would be no Tomb Raider if it weren't for Lady Death and She.
Wow, that's incredible.
So if we decided to become, I don't know, contractors or librarians or lawyers or something like that.
What was your plan? What was your plan B, Billy? If not comics, what was your plan B?
I had no plan B.
I know, man. I had no plan B.
There was no plan B.
How to work.
Once I went that way, there was no plan B. There really wasn't. There wasn't a plan B. But I think, again, when I talk about enthusiasm is that I think that my enthusiasm was contagious and just like yours. I mean, look at you. Here's this. I don't know if you set up at San Diego Comic-Con in 1992. I met you in San Diego Comic-Con 1993. You had a small 6-foot table, if it was 6 feet.
Right.
Small press. It was you. I know it was you. It was Stephen Hughes. I think Jason Benson.
Yep.
The next year, you've got this massive booth. You've got a firelight. You've got it's open. The booth is like open too, that people can have easy access to you. You're making all this noise that they're moving you out of the convention, out of your booth because they're forcing you to go to the autograph area where William Shatner is and guys like that. And on top of that, you beat the shit out of somebody at San Diego Comic-Con. You beat him up right there on the floor.
Well, we were young people and we only had the tools at our disposal that we had. And back then there was, I'm not going to name names, but there was an artist who was retaining Stephen Hughes' art, would not give it back. That was unfair. So we had to go to Artist Alley and we had to correct things. Now, perhaps in retrospect, we took it a little too far, but things happen.
Yeah, but, that was also before the days before Twitter, where someone, people knew that if they, they said something to you, or they should know that they say something to you, there's going to be repercussions.
We're just trying to, honestly, we wouldn't have started anything. It was just trying to do something right. By right, Hughes deserved his work back. He wasn't getting it, and that day we were getting it back.
Right, but also here we are. We're East Coast guys. We're New Yorkers coming in. You know what I mean? And we had that spirit. I think we had that toughness of Kirby. You got to think of those guys.
New York and Jersey.
Yeah, you got Will Eisner. You've got Jack Kirby. You got these guys that were in World War II.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know,
I would say there was a certain sort of upbringing. Yes, I totally confer. Yes.
If you remember '98 when I got into that fight with that guy that it was saying stuff about my sister-in-law about Lauren. And I remember people were shocked, and Debbie was telling the story afterwards. I had this big brawl with this guy, and I'm like, dude, just turn around and go away, or I'm going to knock you out, you know?
Yeah.
And the guy just came back and just kept doing it, and I ended up having to knock him out. I had to get in a brawl with him. And I remember Debbie telling a bunch of our comic friends, you know what I mean? Like, all these big shot people. And she's like, well, he told them what was going to happen. You know what's going to happen. You know, like just even Debbie's attitude.
Right.
Oh, my God, you guys are really going to – you're really going to punch somebody in the face, aren't you, if they don't leave? You know?
I'd like to think that we have solved problems differently now, but then was then, you know?
Of course. Oh, Brian, we have some plans, Brian and I. So
we do
for a big another show.
Enough said.
Yes.
Tonight is all about Malevolent Decimation. Did I say
Malevolent Decimation, featuring the incredible artwork of Diego Bernard.
I saw that yesterday on your pre-launch show. I was watching the pre-launch show, and that art. I mean, the amount of look at that. The
Diego is
detail.
Man.
Diego's fire, as the kids would say. There's no way around it. Yeah, I mean, here. Let's see. I have color of those pages too.
Well, you know, I got to tell you what I love about that, and I love that we're even doing that with the She book. Is that we're going, and I've done it for a long time. Is that we're switching from traditional inked pages to digitally inking them and then coloring. I feel that it has this really nice watercolor feel to it that you can do when you go directly from pencils to color, because no one has a black thick line around their hands. How do you feel? Yeah,
I think why I like this approach is, to me, it reminds me of a lot of European graphic novels too, and there's a real painterly stroke. We work frequently with the color artist Cece de la Cruz, and she's just not a common colorist. She is one of the most gifted colorists in comics in the world, and we've been working with her since the very beginning. We're very lucky enough to be introduced to her from another fellow artist, and when I saw her work on our stuff, it was like she was a missing member of the band. So she was like, oh my God, this is the bass player. Here she is. And her work's amazing. I mean, there's just, certainly Diego is tremendous. And then with her color art on top of it, it really complements the style.
She's like Ringo.
She's Ringo. And say what you will about Ringo. He's the best drummer the Beatles ever had.
Oh yeah. Nobody could have drummed like Ringo. He was
for drum nerds, he had a syncopation that was purely his own. So that's a whole nother conversation. But I'm pro Ringo.
Yeah, to get to your book and to get to your campaign, because we don't want to keep you on for super long.
Okay.
You've got some really great projects, some really great really great editions, really great books. Can you please share that with everybody?
Absolutely. So what we're looking at right here is the Premiere Edition. And the Premiere Edition is 48 pages of story and art, square bound. Due to a stretch goal unlock, it'll also feature beautiful silver foil logo. But other editions that we have include the Cosplay Edition, featuring the model Ireland Reed and photography by Night Owl Photo. We passed our 100K stretch goal, and that unlocked this free pinup book called Lady Death Masters Mike Chrome. Inside, people who back any of our physical rewards get this book free in addition, and it's 32 pages, 24 pages of pinups by Mike Chrome. Absolutely incredible. Sween, thanks so much, man. That's awesome. Now, we love doing the homages, and this is an homage to X-Men 101. And the reason why we did this book in particular is because in this new story, Lady Death becomes straight up evil. And this particular story harkens back to the emergence of the Phoenix, as we know. So we did this one, we kept the homage on theme. This is a facsimile of the hardcover edition by Paolo Pantalena and R.F. Prianto. We had the wonderful Kendrick Lim contribute our quote-unquote naughty edition. Absolutely astounding work.
Gorgeous.
Then we had the incredible Warren Lau from South Africa do our jeweled edition. Thank you for loving that homage. I appreciate you adding that on, man.
Wow.
Now, okay, so this one's harder to explain, but this is our first ever lenticular. This does nothing to explain it, except it's called the evil and naughty lenticular. So it's going to kind of go back and forth between this image and this image, and it's by Dawn McTague. That's our first ever lenticular. What? And then rounding off, one of our main editions is, this will be a facsimile of the Metal Edition by Sora Song. Metal Edition, and colored for the first time on a coffin book by Kate Colors. So super exciting. So much fun. Right on, man.
Look, you got Phil. Look, you got Phil the Greek right here saying this.
Phil.
And, cannot thank you enough for the respect you show to each and one of your fans. And you do. You guys deliver. You have the best customer service that I've ever experienced.
Thank you.
It's
super important.
Bar none.
Thank you. It's what it's all about, man. I mean, Bill, you know this too. I lived in New York City, and I'd go into different neighborhoods, and I worked in the film business and locations department. And one thing that I really learned, and I feel like I learned it through the core, is that as you walk the world, if you could extend respect to people, you just tend to get it back. And I know that respect is a really, really high value inside a lot of cultures. So I just try to walk that way. That's the way I would like to be treated, and I like to extend that to other people. So it's a core value here at Coffin Comics.
Absolutely. And another thing is always that how people don't realize just how rare these issues are. Because right now, how many backers do you have?
Well, right now, I think we're looking at 1,428. And what will happen is, generally speaking, these editions you see, we do limit them to the amount ordered during the Kickstarter period. We'll print just above for loss and damage, and then and that usually amounts to maybe 5%, and that's usually kind of how it swings out. So yeah, nothing crazy. Like, we don't print double the amount. The one that we'll print extra on is what we call let me just grab that back. The Premier Edition, because we see the Premier Edition as the gateway to reading all of our material. So we do attempt to keep all of our premieres in print, because this is the story of the universe, and this is how it goes. And this particular edition is the 11th in the unfolding coffin verse and the story of Lady Death during this era.
How much is that? How much is that base book, or that? How much is that issue?
So this particular issue will be $26. However, I'd like to point out the Coffin Comics value proposition, that each physical reward includes all the unlocked stretch goals. And as of right now, I think we've unlocked 14, including pins, extra comic books, stickers, cards. We even did this new thing called Lady Death Bucks, where we kind of did a fun facsimile of Lady Death on a dollar bill. And then free U.S. shipping. So that $26, you could imagine we're baking in about $6 to $7 to pack and ship. And then we also include a free digital download so that people don't have to mess up their book. And then I myself, Brian, will volunteer to autograph any book that people want or item, and include a certificate for free. And that's purely optional.
You don't charge for signatures.
I don't charge for signatures. We do grade comic books also through CGC during the campaign. And on those in particular, there's a $5 charge. But other than that, no, I do not charge to sign books through the Kickstarter. And that does amount to about 24 to 30 hours of signing, but I don't complain.
Oh my gosh.
I like signing stuff for folks because it may it's sort of a way to connect with people I may never meet. People in Belgium, or people who cannot get out for different reasons. Sometimes they may have social reasons they can't get out, or physical reasons they can't get out, or maybe we'll just never meet because we are shipping books to everywhere in the world just about. So yeah, I feel that's my way of connecting.
Absolutely incredible. And I just want to show everyone right now. So here are the unlocked stretch goals. I mean, just mind my scrolling. Look how many unlocks. I'm not done yet, guys. It keeps going, and it keeps going. Every image you see here,
button, bookmark, that's the magnet, and then we got the figure pin, and we unlocked that other memorial card, and now we're doing these things called the coffin verse cards, where once we introduce a character, you get them on a card. So that character is Mujai, and then I guess we're a little behind because we have to show that we've unlocked this new mini print where it's Lady Death controlling the dead. Because in the story, I've told people, and it's true, Lady Death is returning to her evil roots, and there are times, man, we're writing that story, and my office is right next to my wife, our president, Francisca, and I would say, hey, I think we're going down this path with in the book. Is this okay, or is it too much? And she's like, nah, go ahead. Oh. So this is, I think this is Evil Lady Death we have not seen before, even though it does harken back to her original era, even before her own comic book, when she was a guest starring character in the comic I created years ago called Evil Ernie. She's very, very dark. But conversely, it really seems to be making a lot of people happy. So there you have it. Evil Lady Death makes people very, very happy.
Well, why not? Villains are fun. Make them evil.
Yeah. Thank you, Stormtrooper. You're awesome. Thank you.
Every once in a while.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is really fun too. It's and then we work well in advance. So although this book is actually ready to go to the printer, we finished it in its entirety yesterday, and we are going to queue it up for pre-press next Monday. Believe it or not, everything you see on this campaign is queuing up. But we're into the next chapter, which will come out in August, and that's even crazier. So we've just been having so much fun. The one thing I'd like to point out too is sort of took the dare and beginning last year, named our universe the Coffinverse and started expanding it. And I really love world building, and like a lot of folks, I've been reading comics since I was a kid, and I just love spinning off characters, and I'm just gratified that people are embracing this approach, and certainly we're doing it in this new Lady Death. We're introducing Mujai, who stands for assassin in Swahili, and he is, in a sense, in comic book terms, our Blade, but instead of being half vampire, he's half demon, and he is a half demon hunter, and he's on a mission. Now, the character we're looking at that's Johnny Devlin. So that's Johnny Devlin. Thank you so much. It's interesting. With the name Johnny, I wanted the most common name I could find, like a name that anybody could have. And then with Devlin, it's actually an Irish surname, and I myself am Irish and Spanish. And the Devlin name, if you look it up, really kind of relates to this character. But Johnny was actually raised in an apocalyptic cult. I don't want to give too much of his origin away, but I will say that he actually harbors a gateway between our world and another place. And that world is populated only with what we call devils. And they're always trying to escape him, and he's always trying to kind of pull them back in. And it's a story about that Jekyll and Hyde trying to control the evil that's within. So Johnny is a character I've personally already spent 2 years with, and you're going to get a taste of him here in this Lady Death story, but his origin story will be told later in the year. And that particular story is a complete body horror storyline. And I intend to spend at least the next 10 years with Johnny Devlin. I love him. I kind of know where he's going, and I do hope that readers find him as compelling as I do and Mike McLean do, find him to write. A lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Definitely has that kind of crazy, heavy metal, rock and roll, splatter energy, which I personally still find lacking in comics. Oh, yeah. I think the last time I saw that kind of energy was back with the character Evil Ernie, and for all intents and purposes, Evil Ernie died in August of 2002, and he's really never been seen before. Anything that you see right now is something different.
Now, I popped this question up because I do, so Hatch is, if this may be his first campaign he backs your books. So, he's kind of asking, how far are you into the story? How far are you into the story if he backs, at this point?
Well, Hatch, let me tell you, Lady Death Malevolent Decimation is chapter 11 in her storyline. But the good news is we keep chapter 1 through 10 always in print in what we call Premier Edition form. And then we also have trades of Volume 1 and Volume 2, which cover the first 7 chapters. So one of the things I'd like to guarantee people who jump on board to the Coffin Comics storyline is that we're going to keep all the stories, the main critical Premier Editions, in print, so you could kind of jump on board at any time and go back or forward to become part of this crazy train.
Mm-hmm. Now, are they all available digital?
They're also available digitally, and actually on this campaign, they're available, all the previous Lady Death are available in a cool custom box, all 10 of them for a reasonable price, but we do also keep everything available digitally, and on this campaign, the entire storyline, not only of Lady Death, but of La Muerta, Hell Witch, and Zack the Zombie Exterminator, also available digitally as well.
Fantastic.
There you have it.
There you have it, man.
It makes it any easier for your fans.
Try to like make it so everyone, I mean, put yourself in everybody else's place. You know, you kind of want it to be sort of reasonably accessible and not just super crazy.
Yeah. Kagero 810 says, can you get the digital versions of the earlier books if you had missed them?
So in terms of accessing the earlier digital books of the Coffin Comics era, yes, absolutely. We do not have the rights on the Coffin Chaos Comics stuff or the Avatar digital. And actually, we call Avatar Boundless. They were always imaginary stories. So we actually only count the Chaos Comics era and the Coffin era as one continuity.
But so people can go and they can get the initial 10 or all 11 Coffin books.
Yeah, so all Lady Death books are available on this campaign as one of the tiers. You could pick either one or all of them. So you could kind of fill in your gap anywhere you need to. And we will do that likely at all time. Keep them all in print, all the time, digital and print.
Are you distributing them now to local comic shops?
Yeah, we've been actually back in the Diamond catalog since April of 2016. So what happens is we do use Kickstarter as the world premiere of a given edition, and it's presented in the most prestige format we could imagine. Square bound, high-end printing, obsessive attention to detail. And then perhaps 9 months to a year later, we do go into the comic shops and we split it into different formats. So for Lady Death, one chapter becomes 2 32-page comic books that are delivered bi-monthly. So yeah, we are, as of right now, I think we just delivered Lady Death Scorched Earth, which was chapter 9. Just going into shops about 2 weeks ago.
Okay, so the answer, so Hatch just, once again, is just asking, so where are the other comics available? So you can get all the other comics in this current campaign.
Yes.
And then if they want to buy digitally, oh my gosh, I'm not talking digitally, but individually is the word I was looking for. Do you have a Coffin Comics web store?
We do. So at LadyDeathStore.com, you could buy any of the previous editions as well. We do only offer the digital during the Kickstarter programs. Or our recent Indiegogo, where we had Lady Death the Collection, which performed miraculously and was a complete blessing. And then we also do have our comics available through Diamond Comic Distribution and comic shops that choose to carry it. But if you really want to know, you can get it right there as you're projecting at LadyDeathStore.com. In fact, I'd encourage everybody to go to the upper right of that area and sign up for a newsletter. It's a great way to stay in touch with all the news that we have. And we actually put out a weekly newsletter, and we have communications throughout the week about what's going on in the world of our rock and roll inspired heavy metal comics.
Just follow what I'm doing. And
that's all I'm saying.
Go. Look at that. Yeah. I'm on the list now.
Yeah, I'm on the list.
Thank you. Bro. Right on.
Excellent.
So someone had a question. I know you got to go. We're actually keeping you over, but
it's okay. I love it. Thank you so much.
Oh, great! You had posted it up, Nile. I think we lost it in the.
It
was about getting started and getting involved with the Lady Death book.
So you'd probably want to. I think they're saying if they get started with the series, which Brian was talking about. That he has the.
So the way we do our. Yeah, the way we do our comics actually these days is by chapters. Since we're only coming out with new Lady Death stories every 6 months, we actually make them larger than conventional comics. Conventional comics are actually called saddle stitch. They're paper and stapled, but our comics are actually 48 page and square bound. So again, it gives you a more meaty experience, And all of the comics now are designated chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Although they all have different names. And yeah, the Kickstarter right now, if you scroll through the various rewards and the graphics, it'll explain all the options that are available to you. And we also do try to do a decent job of laying out the story order for you and try to keep it as simple as possible because we certainly know comics do have a habit of getting complicated. Mm-hmm. So we're all super nerds and we like it complicated, I guess.
Heck yes. Heck yes.
Slick Jimmy Speaks asks, will there ever be an omnibus?
Thank you, Slick Jimmy, for asking that question. Yes. So Lady Death chapter 1 through 10 will be offered as an omnibus around this time next year. And then we'll also have, I guess in the next 6 months, volume 3 of Lady Death Lives, which is the trade paperback series. So there's definitely different formats. But we are looking forward so much to doing the omnibus. And right now, in the next week, Diego Bernard is doing the cover for the omnibus. So it'll be a nice, thick, crazy one. It'll probably weigh I mean, we add up 10 chapters right now. It weighs right under 4 pounds, so it'll be a good size one.
Oh wow! How many pages will that be?
It'll be about close to 500 pages. So we'll do them in about 500 pages. That's right. Like, bing, or knock some sense into you. Boom.
Knock some sense into you.
Dude, I don't know what it is, but there's nothing better than like a big omnibus. You know,
It's pretty cool.
It's just like it's incredible.
It is cool. You know, it's funny you say that too, because the one thing we haven't determined is, will it be comic book size or should it be oversized? So if you guys in the comments want to give us some feedback, should it be bigger than normal? I can tell you for fun, the Lady Death storyline for August of 2021 is so epic that I am investigating and budgeting the possibility of additionally offering it in the old school Marvel Treasury size. And the reason I'm doing it is because it's truly an epic story, and it might really be appropriate for that. I'm talking like big.
Heck yeah.
That would be awesome.
Nice
kind of fun.
too.
Dude, the art in all of your books, because myself, Frank Amazing, Billy, I mean, we always back your campaigns when you have them coming on. And I mean, they're never a disappointment. They really aren't. And I know Frank always loves doing like the mystery. You get like the mystery package, right?
They're fun. Boy, the mystery envelope this time around is like, whoa.
Yes.
It's
He's like, Frank's like, yes, it is.
Yeah, Frank, I can tell you too, behind the scenes, it puts so much time, and I'm not complaining. It's my mission. I put in so much time trying to figure out what will really get people going.
Come on, come say hi, Frank.
Frank, come on, man.
You've already shown your face now. You're not
Frank.
a mystery anymore. Frank, come say hi. Come,
Frank Amazing.
Frank, don't be a mystery envelope. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm really excited about the mystery.
Yes.
I mean, you have a sick lineup of artists.
Thank you. I think so. I think also, if you look at it as a collector myself, one of the rarest editions on this mystery envelope is limited simply to 13 copies, and the cover's by Jay Lee. It's 13 copies.
Yeah.
Jay Lee.
Jay Lee.
Like, what am I thinking?
Wait, so you got Jay Lee to do cover? There's only 13 copies of the book?
That's exactly what I'm telling you. Well, I must admit that this image by Jay was from the 90s and only ever appeared as a pinup. So, but still, 13 copies, and then that's it. I love doing that because I know, at least for me, it kind of, as a comic collector myself, Frank, it just tickles my brain.
You know, Brian, I was hanging out with Jay at the Albuquerque Comic Con that you guys couldn't go to.
Yep.
And he was there, and I asked him, I said, would you do a variant cover for me? And he's like, absolutely.
Oh, that's cool.
So we're gonna have later on this year. We'll have a Jay Lee cover too.
Yeah. That's awesome. Congratulations. Phenomenal.
I know.
Mystery envelope.
There is the mystery envelope we're talking about.
Sealed and certified.
Yes.
And then
and there's Jay's image right there, colored by Brett Smith.
You get the option of the Omega editions.
Well, you have the possibility of the Omegas. Yes, the BP editions, the artist proof, pub file copy. So those are all relatively rare. I mean, we're only going to put about, I think, 2 of each in there. Now, if you scroll down one other level, a fan favorite of our culture is Dawn McTague. And her Scarlet and Necro sketch covers are limited to 33 copies apiece. Wow. And I got to tell you, anyone who loves Dawn McTague's work knows that we could really sell probably 10 or 20 times that amount. But the idea is to kind of just to make things authentically rare and exciting for people.
I lucked out in one of your previous campaigns to get one, and it looks like a sketch edition.
Incredible. Yeah, and then I guess the next tier we're looking at is some returning superstars, Sora Song, Monty Moore, and Richard Ortiz. And those editions range between 40 to 60. And then the one, let's see here, there's the psychedelic set.
That looks crazy.
That's incredible.
People really responded over here to the psychedelic. That was completely David Harrigan's idea. David Harrigan has done over 100 covers for Coffin Comics. Wow. And that was his idea. He's really great at pitching ideas. And as long as it fits, we're all about it. Now, as you're scrolling down, we call this the fresh blood. So these are some artists who are relatively new to Coffin Comics and our culture, and we made these editions ridiculously low. Now, these folks are all paid a fair wage, yet their editions are all limited to 35 or under. So you got Kara Nicole and Alfred Trujillo, Ken Hunt, Jed Thomas, that might be Jed's first ever cover. And then below, Pascal Quilano, who's gone on to great acclaim, and then April Grady, who is a popular artist here in the Phoenix area. So those are, 35 copies a piece. What can you say?
That's cool. So, giving shots to letting people come in,
Yeah.
for timers, and that's awesome.
It's
That's
a lot of fun.
incredible.
Yeah, I have a long history of giving artist breaks or working with young artists. And now we're looking at, that's a very popular reward tier. It's the combination of the Premier Edition and the hardcover together. I think sometimes people like to read the Premier Edition, but they don't want to crack open the hardcover.
Mhm.
And I've loved doing the hardcovers. I mean, these are 48-page hardcovers. We've done them for every one of our Kickstarters, and I love them. And they're super expensive to produce. It's ridiculous. I say that proudly, Jimmy. It's crazy. Put so much. I have no complaints about it, but I assure you, although we say $15,000 is the goal, for things of this scale, it takes a lot more than that, and I don't care. I've always had a long history of spending a lot of money on super high grade printing. This platinum vinyl figure you've seen sold out within the first 2 hours of the campaign yesterday. I didn't know.
And that's your first time doing it, correct?
Yeah, it's I mean, that was an existent figure from Diamond Select Toys, but we worked together with them to produce that particular variant. And the costume is by, oh, thank you, Yo-Yo. Great to hear from you. That the costume on that one is by Ebas. And yeah, that's a beauty. Who knows? We made 200. You can never predict what the print run should be. We ordered them 5 months ago, so they sold out really, really fast. Sorry to anybody who wanted it but didn't get it, but there it is. I think as we work on some other projects, we'll increase the print run a little bit. We try our best. This is a fun connecting cover set called Rogues. And these are the main characters in this particular storyline. On the left, to our left, I think it's, you see Devlin, and you could see an expression of this horrific power he has, these horrible devils, these multitude of creatures always trying to escape his body.
Sorry.
And there's a giant butt.
Boom. That's our cosplay cover.
That's and Ireland's, she's wonderful. She's
really super cool. Yeah, she's really super cool.
What the heck just happened?
It happens.
Did I go too large?
You went too large.
That's what she said. Anywho.
Yeah, a lot of fun ones for people to take a look at.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here.
Yeah, we have 35 reward tiers. You're just passing by a brand new hardcover that we're doing. That's called Lady Death More Naughty. That's a 48-page hardcover. It's got a beautiful matte finish and then a UV coating on the actual figure. A cover there by Mike Chrome and interior art by a Who's Who. And this is the third in a series of hardcovers we've done. We do those about once every other year. And I think that cover is really remarkable, and it certainly shows a more subtle and sublime element of Lady Death's personality, kind of catching her at a quiet moment, a rare quiet moment where she's sort of happy.
And Sanju did the coloring on this cover. Huh?
And Sanju Nivenjun is clearly one of the finest colorists in the field, graced our presence with that beautiful work of his. I
hung out with him in Baltimore. He's phenomenal. Such a nice guy.
Lovely guy.
Incredibly talented. Not only that, I just saw on Murat Michael's campaign, he drew a cover and colored it.
He's good.
Incredible.
He is good. He's incredible.
Absolutely incredible.
Yes.
Awesome, man. This is fantastic.
Thank you. A lot of fun stuff. We had a lot of fun doing it. There's Stefan Sefjak. I know I'm saying his name wrong. But that was a fun one where he came out of the woodwork and said, hey, I'd like to do a Lady Death cover, more or less. And I said, oh, yes, that sounds great. And we had this little collaboration. There's our wonderful frequent contributor and definitely ally of Coffin Comics, Dan Mendoza.
The Beast. Mendoza, recent guest. Who was
there you go.
A couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Yep, he's an ally ever since Dan and I met. I don't know. We just sort of became fast friends and allies. And I watch out for him. He watches out for me. And yeah, that was a real fun piece he did there. We call that one Evil Lives.
It's awesome.
A lot of fun. What's great about this era, Billy, I could tell you too, is we're just having a ton of fun. It's pretty remarkable to have a life where you do what you like and you're having fun doing it and you're being rewarded for it. I mean, I'm very grateful, and I think that as I'm older, that's something I feel a lot more than I did maybe in the 90s, because I would be on my grind and not really looking up and seeing what's going on in the world. And thank you so much for backing the hardcover, man. That's awesome. And the shirt will be really cool. Yeah, we're doing with the shirt, we're doing probably 8-screen silk screen. So old school concerts style. We got, guys in downtown Phoenix, Acme Printing, who are phenomenal at it. And yeah, good times.
Nice. Awesome, man.
Great. Yeah, no, and you do. And it's great to be rewarded for all your hard work.
It is. Yeah, it's great.
Delivering, though.
Pardon me?
And you're delivering, though. That's the important thing, is that you are delivering.
Well, people have noted in friends or online, it's like I'm very methodical, and some people say like you're a machine, and we are on a pretty regimented cycle. How might it work for it, Jimmy?
Oh, it's great. You learn so much.
Jimmy's into it. Okay, good. I mean, you kind of have to this is my belief. Between 9 and 5, we work hard. Take a lunch break, and then afterwards, do whatever you want. But that's what I ask of myself all the time. And I even I'd say to even family, it's like, unless it's an emergency, I'll talk to you after, because this is what we're working on. And that's the sort of, I guess, the focus that really allows us to be really on our game. And we measure all this stuff behind the scenes. We have customer service reports, we have our shipping reports, just making sure that we're where we need to be at all times. And if not, why, and how can we fix that? And I probably credit some of that to being in the film business. So let's see, what is the goal to beat so far as Kickstarter record on this one? I think our last Kickstarter was our biggest ever on Lady Death, and I think it was 323 and change. So that would be the thing to beat. And I admit we like to beat it every time. It is a goal to always try to beat it. So we're, even at this early moment, we're conspiring on how can we, get past the last one. And I think the key to getting past the last one is, more readers, more backers, more enthusiasm.
Awesome.
Nice.
Well, we've got Isaac Bell waiting in the
Okay.
Would you,
Isaac,
Brian, would you mind checking out real quick? So I'm going to play. It's up to you if you want to hang on. Just say hi to Isaac.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say hi to Isaac, and then I'll check out and let Isaac have his moment.
Yeah, because this is the way to do it, buddy. I mean,
right
Isaac
on, man.
didn't ask with his own campaign.
Fantastic.
First one, but
thanks, Frank.
Frank, thanks, man. And thanks to everybody on Crowdfunding Comics for
get the hell out of the small box. Come on. There's no air conditioning.
Everybody back, Lady Death, Malevolent Decimation number 1. Malevolent Decimation.
Just read it right there.
Malevolent Decimation. If it sounds like a metal cover, that's a Lady Death story title.
Perfect. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to play Metalshade's. Isaac Bell's book is Metalshade issue 1. This is his very first Kickstarter. So I'm going to pop this up here. I'm going to play the video for everyone. It is awesome looking. The art's fantastic. So let's check this out, and then we'll bring him on screen. All right, Isaac, man, welcome to the show.
What's up, everyone? Hey, thank you so much for having me on. I mean, I can't even believe it. Like, if 14-year-old me saw me on here with Billy Tucci and Brian Pulido, holy shit, man.
Nile, Scala,
crazy.
Dude.
You think you'd be on your way to jail.
Yeah,
you'd probably be right.
Seriously. Oh, man. But, hey, thank you for having me on. And before you go, Brian, I just wanted to say what an inspiration you are to other creators like me. You doing your own thing, Billy, too. That's what I've always wanted to do. I had guys like you to look up to from a really young age. So thank you.
My pleasure, man. I think your book looks like a lot of fun, and I'll keep an eye out for it. I'm going to definitely let you have the stage. But thank you so much for your kind words, man, and have a great show. Thank you. We'll keep an eye out on your campaign.
Love you,
Appreciate
brother.
it.
Peace out, man. Love you all, man.
Again,
peace,
man,
love,
Brian.
and peace, love. Swarm.
Peace, love, and comics.
That's
Thank you,
right.
Brian, for joining us, man.
Have a good night, Brian. Mr. Isaac.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Dude, welcome. I I just want to tell everyone. So there was this morning, right? It was this one morning. I'm like, I'm gonna see what's going on Kickstarter and Indiegogo, and I saw Metalshade, and I was like, holy shit, this looks awesome. I love the art, totally my style. And so, of course, in my usual fashion, I see, oh, Isaac Belle. All right. What do? Facebook. Always go to Facebook because I'm like, can message him that way. And sure as nothing, man, there it was. Boom, got a message right back. I'm like, we got to get you on the show. This is fantastic.
Yeah, thank you so much for. I really appreciate that, and thank you for reaching out, man. You know, I actually wish I had heard of your show a long time ago because I've been listening to it, and there's a lot to learn. You have, you know, all the top crowdfunding guys on here. So, and I mean, I've picked up a bunch of just knowledge just from listening to you guys. So,
thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah, dude. Let's if you don't mind me asking, man, how did you get into comics? Let our viewers know who you are, because this is your first campaign, right?
This is it. This is the beginning. So we are unknown, and it's me and Alexa Lowe. She's my partner, my fiance, and we did all the art. She did all the coloring. She provided variant covers, and she edited the script. So, you know, it's been a collaboration between the two of us. We have not worked at any publishers, any big publishers. The most high-profile thing we've done was a cover for Cave Woman. Yeah, there she is. We did a cover for Cave Woman.
Is she I
love that. Is she there?
Isaac, and she's your partner. Do you want to bring her on? Can we bring her on, Nile, or we don't have the? I don't know if she wants to come on or she's working or something.
It's totally up to her. She's very elusive. You know, if she wants to jump in, you know, she can make an appearance.
All right.
But and if she doesn't come on this time, you know, maybe in the future, because we're not going anywhere, guys. I mean, we've been planning on this stuff for a long time. We've been working on issue 1 forever. You know, we have a whole series planned out. We're you know, the line work for issue 2 is already finished. She's starting to color it.
Nice.
So we have a long game in play. So, and it's just, yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm saying, you know, Nile, what's cool is a couple of things. Nile goes to his fanboy thing and he says, like, you got to see this. I'm like, oh my God.
That's awesome.
We're like booking. Frank's already booking all the way into May, right? And then I guess we're just fanboys, right, Nile? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the cool part is like we do our schedule, right? We've got our mainstream guests that come on. We've got people, it's an outpour every day of people wanting to come on the show. So you either come on as a guest or a crowdfunding call if we can. But I'll tell you, man, when something like tickles us right, gets us right here, we're feeling tickly. And, you know, we force it. We force it in. We make the schedule work. You know?
I really appreciate it. Yeah, that's awesome. And I mean that reaction that you're talking about, that's what we're trying to invoke.
Yes.
So,
well, bro, you are kicking ass right now. I mean, you want to can we pop it up, Nile? Can we pop?
Yeah, we'll bring that up. But I mean, tell us, man, how you got into comics and you know, the drawing, the writing. I mean, it's all you guys.
It's all us, man. And, you know, we have a pretty modest following online that helped us out tremendously in that first day, you know, because I've been talking about this book for about a year just on Facebook and wherever I can. So, and man, we have a fairly small following, but they're loyal, man. They had our back.
First campaign, you have 11 days to go. You already have 445 backers. You're
crazy.
over 25,000, and your initial goal was 3,000.
Yeah,
so it seems like you got a pretty decent following. Yeah.
Dude, like, it's crazy because, you know, 3-4 weeks ago we were like thinking about that 3,000, like, you know, that was the goal, you know, and it's just insane. So, but you know, one thing we are definitely students of the game. We've been paying a lot of attention. We've been on Kickstarter and Indiegogo every day, looking at what's working, breaking it down, trying to see, you know, why things fail, why things succeed.
Yeah.
So going into it, we had a lot of knowledge. And one thing,
Art T Bear.
Wow,
Art T.
thanks,
Bear, the
Art.
legendary Art T. Bear. Wow, good looking book.
Yeah.
You know it, Art. I'm telling you.
Your book, but the book does look great. It doesn't look like this is your first thing, that you're some young kid doing this
Yeah.
book. I mean,
Yeah.
it really looks like you've been doing this for decades, like an old. I mean, look at that art.
That is sick. Look at it.
Thanks,
I mean,
guys.
the lines, everything. I mean, this is. Now, have you worked on other books? Or
Yeah, so
Okay.
very minimally, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, the only interiors I did that are actually in print were on a indie book called Earthling, and it was like maybe 5 to 10 pages, and it was nothing like this. I did my best at the time, but I've been doing art full time for maybe the past 6 years, something like that. So, but it's all been, I started off just doing like online commissions, and and it was, in the beginning, it was just like every month was an adventure, and if I could get enough commissions to pay the bills. So
Now,
I did that, and what's up?
where are you from? And did you go to art school? Did you go to school for art? And tell us about your upbringing. Tell us about you. Let the people know about you, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely a student of YouTube and whatever resources I can find online. I love the Namen Workshop. I tried art school. I'm a 2-time art school dropout, so never got very far. Not very good at school, so. But I will sit in my basement and do studies, and I got to a point in life where it was like, I knew I wanted to do this, and it was like, you have to make it happen. So I pretty much gave up my personal life and doing anything other than just drawing, and built up the skill set. So. And that's where we're at now.
And I'll tell you, man, having having Brian Pulido on, and then with your book, it just seemed like a natural pair. I was very comfortable putting this together based on, with your art style, with their art style, with your story, his story. It's almost like a perfect pair for, a 2-guest show. There's a great picture here of you and your fiance working. So give me a breakdown. What is the structure? So you pencil, ink, she colors.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I write it, and she edits it. So I basically do it the old Marvel way. I plot by drawing, and start forming the dialogue and the scripting around that. So thank you, sir. And man, that's my buddy.
Yeah.
He's been
awesome. If there's any any fans of Isaac in the show, if you guys have never been to our show, if you like what you're viewing, please subscribe to our channel. Obviously Isaac is incredibly talented. He will be on anytime he has a new campaign going.
Yeah.
So I have to ask you, you've got this team, you've got this task force of supernatural superhero type characters. Now, are they more like superheroes? Are they kind of like like the anti-hero type characters? Break into a little bit about what this first issue is about.
Yeah, they're definitely anti-heroes. So I mean, verging on the edge of villainy at times. So it is pretty dark. That's the type of material I always gravitated towards. The first 4 issues introduce each character, and we get to learn a little bit about their background. And then, the course of events bring them together. The girl you see in the green with the spikes, well,
here, I'll bring this up here.
They all have spikes, but
now you have them broken out, right? Each character in the so you've got this is where you go through the characters, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So the first story is told mostly through the eyes of the girl you see there, Vexa. So she's an archipath. She can create things with her mind, including the little demon sidekick guys. Those are her grumblers. Awesome. So, and she's a hacker, and she stumbles onto some state secrets that lead her on this adventure. And she's very lethargic. The thing about Vexa, she just wants to chill at home, and she wants to she does, she does the minimal amount of work to get by, and she has all this power. So, there's not a lot, not too much that can force her to get out of bed if she doesn't want to. But what she finds out does force her to take action, and it leads her on an adventure where she is kind of thrown into the mix with these other characters.
Very cool,
dude. You know what I love about your and Alexa's art, and even your attitude that you're talking like, hey man, I've been working on this book, I'm putting it out. What you and Alexa put together, your art, it just spells out to me no fear. You know what I mean? You're just going balls out. It's just it's so dynamic. It doesn't look like anything out there, right?
Thank you.
No, it doesn't. I mean, that's what stood out. Yeah. It really stood out to me when I was scrolling through, seeing stuff. Dude, it's fantastic. And the characters are it's very creative. It's really interesting. Like you have all these different characters on this team of sorts. And I mean, like the Shrine, tell us about Shrine.
So Shrine is a possessed doll, and there are two different entities kind of like vying for power inside. Her body is like a cybernetic doll. So the body itself has powers and whatnot. And then these two different personalities are kind of, always, they're in conflict, but trying to work with each other. So she has her own little mission that causes her to, end up in the mix with everyone else. So, and she's, I mean, I gotta say she's, I try not to play favorites, but I love her dearly. So she does get a lot of play.
She's a badass, sexy character.
Yeah,
yeah. She's violent, man. She is the most aggressive character. So yeah, she's my most badass of the group.
She's not all bad. She's just drawn that way.
Yeah.
Okay. Isaac, you better be watching the chat. TJ, Mr. Charmers, he's chatting away there. Keep an eye on Mr. TJ.
TJ, what you doing?
TJ, man.
TJ James.
He's flirting. He's doing it. He's our troublemaker. Hey, yeah, TJ's the troublemaker.
Her colors are great. You can't deny it.
Is he flirting with Isaac?
No.
That would only be in person. Nah, TJ's a cool dude.
Yeah.
Now, just had together. I got to get you back, TJ.
You put him out there, man. You put him out there.
Yeah. Always. We always put him on spot. Now, Riplock. I love that name.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Riplock, he's got the parasite in his abdomen there. So, and Riplock, he's a dutiful type of person. He has that heroic spirit more than any of them. But he's always struggling with this this parasite here. Hey, thank you so much, Jimmy. I really appreciate it. So yeah, he has his own struggles with the parasite, which wants to eat everything. So, and it can basically digest matter and turn it into energy. So he can, he has these explosive blasts that he can shoot out from his chest after he's devoured a good amount of mass.
Oh wow!
But he's still got a friggin' parasite living in his abdomen, though.
He does.
Does it close up, or is it always like out like that?
Yeah, I think that he is able to close it up, but you'll still see it looks like a sewn cross in his chest.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
this guy here, Cryptor.
Yeah,
he looks like a badass.
And Cryptor is he's definitely one of the funnest to draw. He's very self-indulgent. I come from I grew up in the 90s with all the crazy, berserker type superheroes, and so he definitely, I had to have someone with that aesthetic because it's just so much fun to draw. And he comes from a tribe of necromancers, but again, he actually wants nothing to do with that business. He actually wants to. He loves the ladies. He likes to get down on the fairy dust and just kind of party.
I love that. I love the bubble here. Now, if you would all just leave me alone, I have God's damn hangover to sleep off.
Yeah. So his priorities are not in doing anything heroic. But yeah, so he gets pulled into the whole thing too. But we have a storyline planned for him afterwards that goes in and explains what's going on, because he's a heretical necromancer, so he's left the faith, so to speak, and they will try to drag him back. So, and then Erin Thorne, she is the mastermind of the group, and she's just kind of manipulating everybody, especially, well, just all through the everything. So everything that's happening, she's kind of pulling the strings, and we start to learn that more and more as the story goes on.
Yeah, no, that's incredible. I love the design. I mean, what inspired the design of Erin Thorne?
So that one was really just kind of, how do you say it? Like stream of consciousness. Like I knew she needed to exist for the story. And the first time I drew her was when I was drawing one of the first pages of the story, and I just kind of let that one flow. So yes, thank you so much.
Thank you. Isaac, you could tell that you guys are having a blast doing this book.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
this is what comics are all about. If anyone out there wants to do a comic, we have two great guests today showing you how to do it. One is an icon that's been doing it for 25, 26, 27 years. And then you have something like you and Alexa coming out of nowhere, seemingly, even though, that you love this thing like you're an overnight success, but you've been working on it for years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really?
And the way, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, look at that. I mean, anybody wants to put together a book. If you guys have, this is the way to do it. I mean, that's fun. The art is amazing. It's something original. It's something that doesn't look like anything else. You're not trying to do anyone else's work. It's just, man, it
really is incredible. It really is. No BS. You guys are very talented. You really are.
So
and obviously the more you do it, the better. That's just how art works. And I mean, you guys really have something here.
Thank you so much.
Are you guys going to be hitting any conventions or anything like that?
Yeah, so we're gonna be at C2E2. What is it, like next weekend or something like that?
Yeah.
Very soon.
Yeah,
so we'll be up there.
Everyone's going to be at C2E2 but us.
You want to just go for the hell of it?
Just
There's people that'll let us hang out at their booths.
You can hang out at our booth. We'd love to meet you guys.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's just go.
All right. So how many pages is the book?
Oh, man.
Isaac, go. Isaac, tell us about the packaging. How many pages is the book? The whole deal.
So it's a 32-page book. It's 23 pages of story. And then in the back, we have an editorial. We have maps of the world that they exist in. We have fan art. I went on Facebook and put out a thing like, hey, we'd love some fan art. We got a bunch of cool fan art in there. What else is back there? Lots of cool stuff. So it is basically a standard 32-page floppy.
Awesome.
Wow. And you guys too, you have a whole slew of, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you have a whole slew of just stretch goals.
Yeah. And this is all a learning experience. We've been paying a ton of attention to the way people do their campaigns, but it's a whole different thing when you're actually doing it yourself.
Yeah.
You have a soundtrack?
Yeah.
25,000 Metalshade EP download by Rival Clicks.
Yeah,
2 songs, including the Metalshade trailer song.
Yeah, those are our friends, Matthew Clegg and Teresa Wynn, and they make incredible music. They're the ones who made our trailer. They've helped us out a ton. So,
wow.
Yeah, kicking ass, bro.
And then you have the add-ons. You guys got to check this out.
Yeah,
a little Lady Death action.
Yeah, that was just a little commission I did back in Albuquerque.
Nice.
Damn, dude, we were at the Albuquerque Con.
Yeah.
Damn.
I came by your booth, man. You weren't there. I flipped through your looking at all your prints and stuff. I wanted to come
True
by.
story.
And talk to you,
Billy's not at his booth. True story.
Yeah, I know. I've been doing it a long time, Isaac.
I know you have.
I want to go for a walk. I want.
I used to, the first place I heard about you was in Wizard back in the day.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Dude, we should get like all the old Wizard books that had you in it, Billy, and we should just read them and go through them.
All right.
That's literally all of them, man. Like she
know.
was so hot, you know, like she and Lady Death and what was the other one? There was
Well, you had
Vampirella.
Dawn, you had
We had Witchblade, we had Witchblade, we had Vampirella, you know, Darkness. There's a lot of great books. A lot of great books out then.
That's the era you know, I got to spend my formative young years in, so there's a lot of stuff to soak up.
Yep. I mean, and there was such an eclectic type of books too, because you had our, you know, the so-called bad girl books. And then, but then you had like Strangers in Paradise. You had Bone.
Yes. Oh,
you know,
God.
you had Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, which was Xenozoic Tales. You know what I mean? You had them by Mark Schultz. You had Dave Stevens returned with The Rocketeer. He came up with an issue, I think, in '95, and that was like the event of the year. That Dave is back with an issue of The Rocketeer. It was just what a time, man. Great time. Wolf and Bird. I mean, there was just so many great books. So many great books.
And all the stuff you're talking about is that's kind of the stuff that gets overlooked when people talk about the 90s.
Yeah.
So there's
you know what's cool about it, Isaac, is that we were all independent creators, you know. So we did our own thing, and we didn't care. We were all full of piss and vinegar, and we all wanted to tell the stories that we would read that we hadn't been seeing. It was almost like punk rock. You know what I mean? Like you look at music in the 70s getting overproduced and all these rock operas and all this stuff. And, you know, all of a sudden here comes the Ramones around like, man, whatever happened to just rock and roll? Some guitars and drums and bass.
Yeah.
It just, you know, stir the people's souls. And that's what's cool about now is that now is even bigger opportunity for independent creators. This is like, we're all like outlaws now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're living on the fringe, because even back then we had to sell a whole bunch of books because we still only took home 40% of the cover price, because the distributors took 20% and the retailers took another 20%. So, you know, now it's you're going directly to the fans, man. And there's nothing against retail. I love retailers. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Diamond Comics. And we'll be going back this year in 2020. And having a whole new slew of books. You know, she's coming back out through Diamond and everything like that. But, man, there's nothing like this crowdfunding. There's nothing like Indiegogo. There's nothing like Kickstarter. And we got to embrace it, man. And your fans, look at your fans, 440 rabid fans. You know what I mean?
That's amazing. It's amazing.
And you got 11 days. You're going to blow way past that.
Yeah, it's crazy. And, you know, like, this is all so new to us. Like, I really, you know, in a really good way, I feel the weight of responsibility to those, you know, 450 people. Like, it is insane. Like, I've seen it in my drawing lately. Like, just the detail, everything. I'm pushing it so far because I'm so grateful to everybody, and we're gonna make the most badass comics we can possibly make. So, and this first issue is just the tip of the iceberg of what I believe we can do. So.
Yeah, and you're going to do it, bro. You're definitely going to do it, man.
Yeah, no, it's
doubt.
incredible. I mean, what is the journey for this? Like, what are you guys looking to build with Metalshade?
So, I mean, it's an ongoing series. You know, I plan to just keep coming out with it. I mean, I have the same love for Metalshade that Brian has for Lady Death. You know, I really do. And, you know, so I'm not going to stop. I'm going to just keep going with it. You know, there's a whole universe there, so there are opportunities for spin-off titles with other characters from that world. I have my eye on some other artists I would love to bring in. Yeah, I mean, thank you, Yo-Yo.
Yeah,
Yo-Yo's in there. So it was important for us to do all the work ourselves, but our friend Yo-Yo, she showed up with a crazy shrine piece. So we put that in the stretch goals. It's going to end up becoming a cover.
Nice.
Oh, very cool.
Now, Isaac, let me ask you. Here. You know, you mentioned Brian. You talk about me, like, you know, Brian and Francisca, his wife. They're a great team. You know, I like to think, you know, my wife and I have been doing this, you know what I mean, since '94. You know, it's great to work with someone that you love and that you trust and you respect. You know what I mean, and you can just create such wonderful things. How did the two of you feel when you're ready to launch. Now, were you nervous before when you were ready to launch it and like, oh man, I hope we get 3,000? And what happened when you blew past that? And you know what I mean?
Man, it was definitely a great feeling. So I mean, we felt the pressure, you know, we were definitely, there's a little bit of stress going into it, even though we've been working on this forever and we were, you know, very prepared. But, you know, it's crazy. The first day we did over 10K and it just, it blew our minds. So, but it, you know, and it was a great feeling, you know, and it is important because, you know, the plans that we have for this series, like we always intended to continue with it. And with this kind of support, we're going to be able to do that. Yeah. And, you know, the great portion of these funds are all going back into these projects. So we want to make the best quality product possible. This is, you know, our little art child here. Mm-hmm. So, and you see when creators do that, like you can tell, like with Brian is the perfect example. Like, yeah.
I think it's everyone's fear of the crowd.
Yeah, that's where we were at, man. So,
well, man, I don't even know what to say. I mean, you guys are trailblazers. You guys are inspirations to anyone out there that wants to do this.
I mean, but let me ask you. So it's your first campaign. How long did it take you to get your whole plan together? Because you have a boatload of stretch goals and different covers and things. I mean, how, you know, what made you decide to go that big for the first go? And really, how long did it take for you guys to plan all this out?
We've been planning on this man, we've been working on this stuff for over 2 years, you know. Mm-hmm. And so one of the things about the stretch goals, we have a ton of material because we've been working on it for so long. So we have all this concept art we've been able to color and turn into prints, and so that's been a huge help. And you know, the vision for this book always was for it to be you know, a big book, you know. And so and to do something like that, you know, you have to walk the walk. You know, you see a lot of campaigns that talk about how big their thing is going to be, and they have like a drawing, you know, like maybe a script to read. So you know, we definitely knew we needed to really put the work in beforehand and take care of a ton of stuff, and like, you know, in preparation for everything. So.
Now, is the book done?
Yeah, the first issue is done.
Wow, that's
first issue is completely done. I think the one little last thing we're doing for it is Alexis doing the credits page. So she's done. Just kidding. Yeah, exactly.
You know, I want people out there to know, too, that, I mean, this is a phenomenal campaign. You guys are kicking ass and taking names. But I hope people out there realize just how expensive it is to put together a book, right? I mean, you got to think of the cost, the shipping costs. And like you said, you're putting that money into creating the next issue.
Yeah.
Putting it back into it. So it's not like you're going out and buying yourself, you know, a new Mercedes or anything like that.
Not even close. And you know, and the thing is too, with this, especially with this first campaign, we are so thankful, so grateful to these people who have come in and made this possible for us. We're gonna hook them the fuck up, you know, like they are getting all kinds of cool stuff with their packages, you know. I mean, that's why we've been really, you know, loose with the stretch goals and everything. So
now, where are you doing your? So I know for a lot of creators right now that have their printing in China right now, a lot of stuff is getting postponed and on hold, which is you know, screwing up fulfillment for some fulfilled projects. If you don't mind me asking, are you know, who are you guys using for your printing and fulfillment?
So we're printing. We have a printer in Illinois, actually.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah. So Printlore is who we're working with. So yeah, we've
never heard of them.
Never heard of them?
Yeah, well, you know what, Nile, we've talked about all the different shows, and I think you know, we're talking about the various steps, Isaac, of having creators on and asking them, you know, how did you start? Like where to start? People that come and send us messages, how do I start? How do I make a book? So we're going to go through the various aspects, and would you come back on and talk about? We should do a printers. Who uses what? And then we talk about all those printers. And we'd love to have you on anytime you want to come on. Of course, you're on. But would you consider coming on to one of our instructional episodes too, to talk about your experiences with, shipping, with printing and stuff, and talk up your printers and all? Because I know people want to know. And even I got to be honest with you, we're always looking for new printers and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. And, so far, Printlore has had great communication with us. They've definitely, it's been very reassuring. Yeah, there you go. Being able to speak with them and, you can tell they know what they're doing. And I've seen their stuff. I've seen stuff that they printed. They did a book. God, what was it called? It was a Comics Tribe book that was crowdfunded, and it looked great. It had a holofoil, or no, it had some kind of foil logo on the cover. So I know they do great work. And this is our first time working with a printer, so we'll do our thing with them. And as far as fulfillment too, it's going to be me and Alexa, and trying to get my mom to come down and help us. And we're just going to assembly line this thing, man. And because we're also looking to get stuff out way ahead of schedule, because again, we really want to hook people up and, let them know that we're for real. So, and I think that's a huge part of it.
Good for you guys, man.
So
I know you guys can do it.
Not only for us, but the whole crowdfunding community. Like, you're really kind of screwing up. If you're not getting your book out after people go out of their way to make it happen for you, and that is very rare, in my opinion. If you are smart about what books you're backing. I back a ton of stuff, and I think there's one book that I haven't gotten that should be here now. Out of 30 plus. So
that's it, man. Customer service, you got to deliver.
Yeah, I've got a couple books though that unfortunately are 3 or 4 years.
Yeah,
yeah, you're already in that boat.
Yeah,
but definitely, man, great stuff. It's awesome what you guys are doing, you and your fiance. I mean, definitely make a great team. Really looking forward to seeing what else you guys have coming down. Now, are you guys working on anything else, in conjunction to this, or anything that's completely a whole different genre?
Yeah. So this year the focus will be Metalshade and getting that first storyline out, so we can collect the trade and go from there. So early next year, though, we're gonna see some Alexa Lowe art books. And those things are going to be sick. Like, you saw some of her art in there in the variants. Mm-hmm. She's an incredible illustrator. And she has a growing fan base on Instagram and Facebook. And so don't leave us, Alexa.
Well, how do we find? Don't leave us. How do we find all you guys on social media?
So for me, I'm mostly on Facebook, just Isaac Belle. There's also a Metalshade Facebook page that gets updated every day. Nice. Shout out to Mark Compton. That guy, he came on board as a producer. We had a producer tier, and we were worried about doing one of those, but he's been amazing. He's been he's running a Metalshade Instagram page, and he's killing it. So if you're on Instagram, you can check out Metalshade there. Alexa Lowe, she's mostly on Facebook and Instagram. So Mark,
nice. Well,
you're the man.
And you guys aren't on Twitter right now, right?
So I've had a dormant Twitter page forever. After I talked to you the other day and you asked me about that, I started posting a little bit. So I'm gonna try to. It's so much stuff to stay on top of. Social media is a lot of work.
It's tough. We do it every day. It's incredible. In between the day jobs and everything, any free second you get, you're just like, boom.
Yeah.
Stay up in those feeds. Twitter's great. You just gotta avoid, drama. That's all.
Yeah. I don't get into that stuff, man.
People just randomly tag you. Like, there's times, man, I'll just like look at my phone. I'm like, oh, new things. Like just right. I just picked my phone now. I got a whole bunch of different things, and I'm tagged in stuff that I don't even know what it is. Like I have no clue what this is, or who I'm being tagged by.
Yeah,
but you just get like dragged into stuff. It's silly.
It's stupid.
It's silly.
Yeah. Well, hey, Isaac, I want to thank you for accepting my friend request. I hope you didn't think I was some, weirdo.
Man, I got a friend request from Billy Tucci. Are you kidding me, man? That's crazy.
I'm like, I got to friend this guy. This guy's fantastic.
No, I'm telling Alexa, I'm like, do you know how crazy it is? I got a friend request from Billy Tucci. Like, this is a guy from my teen years, and
yeah, you say that now though, right? Scala unfriended me. Frank Amazing unfriended me. TJ did.
Yeah,
it's their loss, man.
Every like 20 minutes, it's like, hey, what are you doing? It's like the same thing I was doing 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, I'm like,
hey, what are you doing now? Billy, don't you have drawing to do?
Yeah.
And then the phone starts ringing, and my wife's like, oh, it's your girlfriend again. I'm like, oh, Jesus, Billy. No, I'm just joking. No, isn't it? It's cool, man. This is what happens, and this is, as you guys are growing, you're going to start, getting friend requests from people that, inspired you when you were growing up and stuff like that. It's the circle of life.
Yep.
They're the big lions and we're the little lions, and they're holding us over the prairie of animals.
Isaac, you really are. You're really from looking at your work and just talking to you, you're a real impressive young man.
Yeah.
You deserve all your success. You really do.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
And thanks for coming on the show, man. We appreciate having you on. And keep us in the loop of what you have going on. Frank Amazing does tweets in the morning, usually promoting books and stuff. We'll keep you guys in the cycle. Good luck, man. Good luck with this.
So much. Thank you.
You got 11 days to go. Anyone out there that hasn't backed this, scroll through it. There's a lot of great stuff in here. Take your time, go through all the pledge levels, go through all of the stretch goals that they have. They're really kind of like, they're pulling all the stops, just they're throwing everything at you. You're getting everything. So, keep make it happen for them. Let's try to see if we can help them push to 30K, 40K, 50K, get it up there. The more they can get, the better, more exposure. And the book's done. Issue 1 is done. When are you guys looking to fulfill? Does it say here?
Yeah. So let's see. I think it says what does it say in there? May or something?
So you guys are a Kickstarter campaign?
What's that?
This is Kickstarter you guys are on?
Yeah, it's Kickstarter.
And have you considered going on Indiegogo next? Why not carry that, keep that momentum going and just, it's not going to cost you anything. You're going to have the books. It might open you up to a whole new audience because, as we've said before, right now, we've learned on this show that there are people that will just buy Kickstarter and that some of that will just buy Indiegogo. You got a potential whole entire audience out there waiting. And when you want to go live on, if you do, you're welcome to come back on if you guys, decide to launch on Indiegogo, because I did it. And our Indiegogo has far surpassed our Kickstarter numbers now. And even in demand, our Indiegogo's almost at $20,000. Our Indiegogo, or it's $18,000 just in demand on Indiegogo in the past 6 weeks, 6 weeks.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to look into that because I love Indiegogo. They have great books on there.
Yeah.
In demand is
the thing. That's what's
a big advantage.
That's what has me sold, because how great is it that while you're finishing, most guys are finishing the book, as the campaign ends and you make goal. So why not just continue selling your book? So then literally, and then you can stop it all right, we're going to stop at this point. And now we got to get things printed and whatnot. So while you're working on the book, you're still making money. You're still growing your backers. One cool thing is I think what Kickstarter does is they have a thing where you can roll over. Yeah,
you roll your link. That you go to our Kickstarter page, it'll say follow up on this project, and that link goes directly to our Indiegogo page.
So you could technically go in demand. Now, with the way Indiegogo is growing and really supporting, they're really kind of, the CEO loves comics and stuff like that, and they really are all right, look, comics are really kind of taking over our site. They're hitting millions of dollars. So they're really putting a lot of focus in it. And, we spoke to a couple of creators who told us, they're looking at almost like you'll have levels of creators on there, for campaigns. And, pending your record, if you're fulfilling on time, if you're doing things, say you guys are working on 2 different books, right? But you could legitimately, say your team expands and you can get these books out at the same time or from 1 month of one another, they'll let you run 2 campaigns.
Right.
They'll let you run 2 campaigns, but there's obviously a stipulation. Certain things have to be fulfilled in order to get all your funds. They'll hold money just to make sure that you're not just running and running and running. They're going to make sure that they protect the backers. But I think, you're going to see a huge change on Indiegogo, which is pretty cool. And don't get me wrong, I love Kickstarter. I like both platforms. I've got no hate towards anyone. I just love independent creators and what people are doing. But, for my book and like Billy said, I mean, it's just the whole in-demand thing's got me, I love
that is a big advantage. It really is.
Yeah, but test the waters because, since it's your first thing, you don't have to hold yourself to one or another. See which grows your audience better and then stick with that one.
Right.
Word.
Sounds like wise words.
Yeah.
From Sage, Scala the Sage.
The brain of the mainframe, son. I just make it all up. I don't really know what I'm talking about. But
hey, you and me both.
There you go. But thanks, man. It was awesome having you on the show. I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you actually even with our 100th episode. I asked if it was okay to push you back a day or so, and you were cool with it. And
Dude,
I hope our paths cross.
Here.
Yeah, I hope our paths cross someday at a convention. And good luck to you. Good luck to Alexa. You guys are a killer team. Great product out there. I'm going to back it myself. Yeah. And I look forward to receiving this, man.
Thank you so much. I am so grateful to be on the show. I mean, it's crazy being on the same show as Brian. So thank you guys for having me on. And I'm sure we will cross paths at a convention eventually. I would love it if you guys showed up at a C2E2, but
we'll see. I got to talk to Mrs. Tucci about that.
Mrs. Tucci. Yeah. Okay.
My wife would be like, "Hey," she'll just be like, "No." I'd be like, "Hey, no, what?" Fine.
I was thinking.
Yeah, no. I was thinking maybe.
Hey, Scala, now that, if you don't mind sticking around for a second, Isaac, we had so much going on yesterday for our 100th episode. We had, 6, 7 guests?
We had 8 guests.
8 guests. And Scala, and everybody was talking.
8 guests, 2 hours. Everyone was talking.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It was great. We went 2 hours, but we forgot to thank our partners here. Hey, Matthew, say hello to Isaac. He's got a great book.
Hey, what's up, Matthew?
A little guy. We forgot to thank Frank Amazing.
Yeah, we got Frank Amazing.
Come on, Frank.
Come on, Frank, pop back on. Comes to the next old Uncle Nile.
We forgot to thank Mandy.
Hey, Frank.
Hey, what happened? Oh, there we go.
There he is. Thank you, Frank, for all the work you did. We forgot to thank Mandy Summers. We forgot to thank TJ. We forgot to thank, of course, Brian Blevins, which I'm coming to you through the Blevins Media Center. So that was kind of rude of us, wasn't it, Scala?
It was, but it was exciting. We had a lot going on,
Absolutely.
It was a great show.
A lot of people.
I enjoyed it.
And thanks to all of our people, all of our subscribers, and that you guys are here every week for us, and we really appreciate it. We want to have this place of positivity and just talk great comics, man. This is a place for outlaws. We don't care what your background is. If you put out good books, man, and you're cool people, you're on our show, man.
We'll even take the heat if we have to. If we like what you're doing, you're coming on. That's it. We're an interview show.
Yeah, we got a lot of hate mail because Isaac Belle was coming on. Like, well,
that's what I heard.
Because you were coming on, I had to create this little thing. I got to bring that up on shows now, just so people know.
Yeah.
Nah, just kidding.
I'm sorry about that, guys.
We're just messing with you. Yeah, man, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Awesome product, awesome stories, characters, designs. I mean, it's absolutely incredible, dude.
Thank you so much.
Man.
Thank you so much.
So keep us in the loop. Anything new coming on, let us know. Send an email. Frank's always monitoring the email. DM me, whatever you want to do. And once you're on the show, man, you're part of the Crowdfunding Comics family. So whatever you need, man, we're there for you.
Glad to be here. Thank you guys so much.
You got it, man. Great luck. Keep kicking ass, bro.
Yes, keep kicking ass, you and Alexa. And, it seems like you've got a nice, good supportive team behind you.
Yes, sir.
And Mom.
Mom is the best. Yeah, shout out to Mom.
Make sure you help fulfill. And bring
Is your mom he
Bring
watching
pizza
this
and
now?
chicken
I
nuggets.
don't think she is. I
Oh.
tried to send her the link, but
Yeah,
I don't think she
chicken
was
nuggets.
online. So
That's great.
Chicken nuggets on pizza.
Yeah, chicken nuggets on the
On the
pizza,
pizza.
Mom. No
Yeah.
ketchup on the side.
ketchup.
You need to fuel it, bro. Oh, French fries
Connecticut, bro.
French
and
fries.
stuff.
They're
Roll
from
it up.
Connecticut. They don't know
They
what's
don't
good.
understand real pizza.
They don't
Oh
understand.
my god! dude. The cap- Excuse you gotta
Yeah.
unbelievable.
All right, well, listen,
Someone's
my
getting
son
an ass
Matthew made a YouTube video, so I'm going to go check that
You're
out
even
now. I'm
Connecticut.
very excited to
It's
show
the
him.
capital of the world. Unbelievable. Happy
Oh,
Sally's,
geez, here
Mom.
we go.
What are
You
you
hear
talking
this,
about?
Isaac? You hear
What are you
this,
talking
Isaac? Come on.
Isaac, where are you from? Where are you from, Isaac?
from all over California, all over the states, really.
Oh,
Kind
you've
of-
got really good tacos.
You're a hobo.
I'm kind of a hobo,
Oh,
basically.
What's that? It's just a band.
sorry, man.
All right, dude. Thanks, Isaac. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, guys.
All right, and we'll
I
talk
good
to
to see
you
you guys. Great show, man. 101 episodes.
101 episodes, and yeah, and also, dude, we're gonna, we got to get next week. We're gonna have kind of like our town hall meeting. We're now broken into the 3 digits.
Yeah,
We're
and
over
we're
100.
going to give George Perez a call this weekend.
Yeah, George Perez and Larry Hama got back to us tonight.
Yep.
He got he gave me his number so I can get some dates over to him, and we'll get him on the show. I mean, we got to get these. We got to let the fans know what's coming on, dude. 2020 is starting off big for us, dude.
Big, bro. Big.
Really, it's unbelievable.
Can't wait, man.
Great support from everyone. It's truly fantastic, dude.
All right. Well, let me get going, Nile.
All right, brother.
I'll talk to you tomorrow, pal. Thank you,
Yes,
everybody.
sir. Thanks, everyone. Have yourselves a great night, and we'll see you next week.
Rock and roll.
Peace.
Hey guys, thanks again for tuning into Crowdfunding Comics. We look forward to hanging out with all of our crowdfunding fans every time we go live. And don't forget to click the link below and subscribe to our channel. And there's a little bell. You may want to hit that too. This way you get all the great notifications when we go live and when we upload some awesome content. You want to follow us? Sure, go right ahead at Twitter at CrowdFundComics with an X, Instagram Crowdfunding Comics, and Facebook at Crowdfunding Comics. Till next time, crowdfunding fans, we'll see you soon.